The Haunting of Mist Island. Chapter 1. Arrival into Madness. Mist Island, a desolate landmass in the freezing northern seas, is a place so remote that it doesn't even appear on most maps. For decades, it lay forgotten, shrouded in mystery. But in the late 1940s, during the final years of World War II, the island became the site of a secret military research facility. The U.S. government had chosen this isolated location for a series of covert experiments projects focused on the treatment of mental illnesses and exploring the boundaries of the human mind. Few knew what was happening there, and even fewer ever returned to speak of it. In 1947, the facility was repurposed into a psychiatric hospital. Dangerous criminals and mentally ill patients deemed threats to society were sent to Mist Island. But this was no ordinary asylum. Illegal and extreme experiments continued under the guise of medical research. Whispers of telepathy, mind control, and even consciousness transfers circulated in hushed tones, though little information about these projects ever reached the outside world. By the early 1970s, strange and inexplicable incidents began to occur. Staff members reported that the patients were losing their minds in ways no one would explain. Some claimed their minds were being overtaken by unseen forces. Disturbing events escalated: disappearances of staff members, suicides, unexplainable mental breakdowns, and paranormal occurrences became frequent. In 1974, one fateful night, the island fell silent. No one knows what truly happened, but the entire hospital was suddenly abandoned. The government sealed all records pertaining to Mist Island, labeling it as a mass uprising of the mentally ill patients. Yet, no bodies, patients, or staff were ever recovered. The island's inhabitants had simply vanished without a trace. Since then, Mist Island became a source of dark legends. Some say the island is cursed, that the minds of those who perished still wander its halls, trapped in some unspeakable torment. The thick, ever-present fog that surrounds the island conceals its sinister secrets, but stories circulate among sailors and explorers. They call it the Island of the Lost and speak of eerie whispers emanating from the mist, warning all to stay away. It is said that once someone steps onto the island, they never leave. Now, years later, Dr. James Orton and his team are being set to uncover the truth behind the island's dark history. Their mission is to investigate the abandoned hospital and solve the mysteries that have haunted it for decades. But as they soon discover, the island has no intention of giving up its secrets without a fight. Mist Island still holds a terrifying power, one that preys on the mind, warping reality itself. James and his team set foot on Mist Island. James accepted this mission hoping to discover what happened to his missing brother Alex, but nothing he's read in the reports could have prepared him for the unsettling feeling that overcomes him as they step onto the island. The island is isolated, suffocatingly quiet, and thick with a mist that seems almost alive. Emily and Dr. Harlow are James' closest allies on this mission. Emily, although highly professional, has long suspected that James' obsessive work habits hide deeper personal pain particularly surrounding the unresolved fate of his brother, Dr. Harlow, on the other hand, is a mystery to them all. He knows more about the island than anyone else, but he's been cryptic about what exactly they might find. The first location they explore is the abandoned psychiatric hospital at the heart of the island. The building is a decaying ruin filled with the remnants of its horrific past. While the outside world knows little about what happened here, James feels an immediate sense of dread, as if the walls themselves are whispering secrets too horrible to comprehend. The oppressive mist clings to the hospital, and soon time itself starts to feel unreliable. James begins to sense something familiar about the place. As he explores the darkened halls, he stumbles upon objects that seem connected to his brother's childhood items that shouldn't be here, but that look as though they've been left for him to find. His logical mind begins to fray as he's drawn deeper into a personal mystery that he wasn't prepared for. At night, the team camps inside the hospital, and the first signs of the island's sinister power reveal themselves. Emily begins to hear strange whispers echoing through the halls. At first, they're faint, barely noticeable, but then they grow louder, more insistent, as though someone or something is trying to communicate with her. Dr. Harlow dismisses the phenomenon, offering rational explanations, but James knows something is terribly wrong. As they continue their exploration, the hospital itself seems to awaken. James is haunted by fleeting visions of Alex, his brother standing in shadowy corners, watching him. The visions become more intense and more personal, and soon, it's not just James who sees things. The others began to experience the island's power as well. One of the team members hears a faint voice calling from a locked cell deep in the hospital. Against all better judgment, they open the door but find the cell empty. Still, from that point on, the voices get louder. James, meanwhile, returns to the room where he found his brother's childhood belongings. In a sudden, heart-stopping moment, he sees Alex's silhouette standing before him, only to vanish as quickly as it appeared. The scene ends with a deafening crash from deep within the hospital, leaving the team in complete terror. As the deafening crash echoed through the hospital, the team stood frozen. Shadows danced at the corners of their vision, and whispers filled the air. Growing louder, James's heart raced as he turned to Emily. "We need to find out what that was," he said, but deep down, he felt lost in a wave of dread. The dark energy enveloping the island was palpable. Dr. Harlow shouted, "We can't stay here." But fear flickered in his eyes, too, was turning back more dangerous than moving forward. Emily insisted, "If we go back now, we'll never learn the island's secrets." Her determination sparked a glimmer of hope in the others. When they reached a dark door, James opened it to reveal a room filled with dusty files. His heart sank as he spotted a name. Is it possible that his brother Alex had been here, or was the island's dark power after him? Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Find me who did it belong to." Was Alex truly here, or was this just a trick of his mind? They quickly decided to leave the room and venture deeper into the hospital. But what awaited them in the darkness? James was determined to follow Alex's trail, but at what cost? The continuation is in part 2. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more content like this. curse of the sea wishes you a good night.